Welcome to Summit. Hold on. We'll try that again. Good morning, folks. This is Mike from Common Guy Sports. Welcome to Summit Area YMCA for the 2026 8&U Pentathlon. Glad you can join us this morning. It is 10:51. As you can see, bottom of your screen, the officials getting in place to get us started here. We are slated for an 11 o'clock start. All the information for this meet is available in an app for your phone or tablet. It's known as Meet Mobile. So if you go to your Apple App Store, Google Play Store, you can download it. And the uniqueness for today with what Summit's doing is they're providing it free of charge. So you might see information there where it says, please subscribe. You do not need to subscribe for today. It comes free of charge. I have one thing I'm just trying to show you that app, and I'm having a little trouble connecting with it. Or connecting with my phone to show you that. We do have a few minutes, so let me try and get that for you.
I have a heat on mine for when we're CJ. You're a CJ right now. I'm CJ right now.
All right, there we go. All right, real quick, folks, this is going to look a little funky, but this is my phone you're looking at. So if you go and download an app, it's this top left application that you see there, Meet Mobile. It's a blue icon, Meet, M-E-E-T, Mobile. You'll get the app. When you open the app up, you're going to be presented with this home screen here, and you're going to search on Pentathlon up top. When you do a search, depending on the ordering and so on, or you could put SAY in it, S-A-Y for Summit Area Y. And then you'll see this third one down for me is SAY Mini Pentathlon. You tap on that, and you'll be brought to this screen. This morning, this meet is broken out into two different events. So if I go into events, there's girls and then boys. So this is the girls session. Now, the important thing, what I suggest that you do, you come in here, you click on girls, you'll see all the different events. This is also on your screen on the bottom right. But what you could do, if we backtrack and we just go to swimmers, now you're presented with all the swimmers' names. So if I just choose Tilly Adams here, I could see all the events that Tilly's in. So this is a girls-only session. All the event numbers are odd numbers. So we're going to go 1, 3, 5, 7, all the way on. Okay, you can see that there. And then what you could do with Tilly, I put a star up here on the top. I favorited her, and then I would get notifications for her. Similarly, if I go back here to the top and I go to teams, I could open up a given team, see all the swimmers, and I can favorite that team also. All right, so here's all the teams I'm going to run down because you're going to see abbreviations on the scoreboard. GSCY is Greater Somerset County. Shout out to Anna Moshe. Lakeland, Anna, I'll say that probably 5 times today. So LHY, Lakeland Hills, that's where I swam as a 6- and 7-year-old. Little tidbit. Madison Area Y, MAY. RY, this is one that confuses people. Ridgewood, RY. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Ridgewood, RY. SAY, Summit Area Y. TGFY, the Gateway Family Y. GMY, Greater Morristown Y. PRY, Princeton Pirates. I don't know if I have their logo. Shucks. WMY, West Morris YMCA. WY, Westfield Y, and this is the one I always say 5 times. WY is Westfield. WFY, Wyckoff Family Y. So, again, you can go in, you can look at that team. So if I go to Wyckoff, here's all those swimmers. Okay, Westfield we can see here. All right, so this is the app. Download it. It's free. You don't need to subscribe to see the information, and then you'll get all the results. All right, the chat is open. If anybody has questions or comments, feel free to put it in the chat. All right, hopefully you find that helpful. I'm glad I had my little adapter, and that worked out. So let's get back connected to the camera. All right. So the way we run meets here with Common Guy Sports, we're going to be at the start here. I do have all the names. So you'll see on the top right, that orange text, that is my overlay. I'm going to keep that updated, and you're going to have the swimmers in the next race. So in this first, so if you're not, I'm going to over explain things today, assuming we have some new families joining that might not be familiar. So swim meets are broken out into events. So on the bottom right, you'll see that white text. Those are the events. Now within the events, you have heats. So first, for the first event, girls 8 and under 100 freestyle, we have 6 heats. Now a heat is broken out based on, we have a 6-lane pool. And the way it works, it takes the 6 fastest swimmers, puts them in a heat. And it doesn't know how many heats we're going to have, and it works backwards. So heat 6, the last heat that's going to be raced for this event, event number 1, 100 freestyle, is going to be the 6 fastest swimmers. And then it works backwards from there, doing groups of 6. All right, we're going already. Here we are at 10:56, getting a little early. Now that white text you see on the lane lines, that's the swimmers about to start. All right, now we're underway. So this is a 25-yard pool. All the starts will occur on the left-hand side. With some of the younger kids, they might not go off the starting blocks. They might start right on the deck. So with the 25-yard pool, a 100-yard freestyle, swimmers are going to swim 4 lengths. All right, a length, the way I use the word length is 1 25-yard segment, kind of a left to right for the whole pool. I'll use lap as a down and back. So if you want to say a 100-yard freestyle is 4 lengths of the pool, that's the feedback from their microphone. All right, 4 lengths of the pool or 2 laps, a lap being down and back. All right, lane 1 is closest to us. You can see that in the yellow text, bottom of your screen there. Lane 6 will be at the top. Again, this is a 25-yard pool. All right, I will try and read the names best I can. We're kind of a one-man band here, so we'll try and keep everything running. All right, so lane 1 is empty in this case. Lane 2, we have Claire. Lane 3, Jocelyn. Lane 4, Elliot. Lane 5, Brianna. And then lane 6, top of our screen, is Ashani. All right, so our lead swimmer, I'm going to switch cameras now so we can get a little focused. All right, lane 6 just turned halfway. She's got 50 done. This is our lead swimmer. Lane 4, this will be Elliot Johnson coming in. Top left is a live view of the scoreboard. I keep that on the whole time so you can see. All right, now, Elliot, you see those dashes. Don't worry, with the younger kids, when they come in and they touch the wall, there is a touchpad in the wall, on the wall, and you'll see that that registered there for lane, I'm sorry, that was lane, what's going on here? All right, so 3 and 4 finished. There's lane 5. All right, those dashes are a result, as you can see behind the blocks, there's 2 timers, and as they come in and finish, the timers have a button. You can see in his left hand there. And as they push that button, that registers also with the timing system. But if the swimmers don't hit the wall firm enough, that's when we're going to get those dashes. Okay, so that was heat 1 of 6. Now, I was a little slow. Top right are now updated with the names for the swimmers in heat 2. So we have closest to us will be Reese. You'll see here lane 1. Then we have Marana, Chloe, Evelina, Finley, and Layla. All right, Layla should be, oh, we still have a swimmer coming in on 6. This is Ashani finishing up. Nice job. On these times that you see, when you see NT, that stands for no time. Swimmers will have what's known as a seed time as they come in, and that's what's used to group the swimmers together. So they're swimming with similar speeds. All right, so this is going to be heat 2. And again, the scoreboard on the top left will stay on, and that'll tell you what event we're on. So you can see there, it says in the red text, girls 8 and under 100 free. Oh. All right. So unfortunately, the All right, so we're gonna. All right, so you hear a lot of screaming. So the start system has a microphone which the officials will announce, and then there should be a beep, and the light goes off. So unfortunately, what happened there? They made the announcement, but it. Okay, swimmer in lane 4 is not recognizing that that was not a clean start. All right, got her attention. All right, so with that case, with the little, it's not a DQ or a false start. It was a malfunction with the timing system. So they potentially, since the swimmer swam, they might ask them to just sit out a heat, let them relax a little. And then they might swim heat 3. That's what I overhear them talking right now. So all right. All right, so they're saying heat 2 is going to go at the end. So let me save those names. We're going to go with heat 3. So the names you see top right of your screen will be the swimmers going now. Here's their lane assignments. So we're going to swim heat 3. All right, again, the chat is open. I kind of, we got started a little early, so I might be saying things that might confuse somebody, or if there are questions on something I said, please feel free, put it in the chat. If you're on your phone, tablet, computer, YouTube has an easy chat system. It's not exposed on a TV, so if you are watching on a smart TV, if you grab your phone, you can then join another session and then post your question or comment there. All right, here we are with heat 3. Addison, Ridley, Ryan, Isabella, Emma, and Eleanor. That's 1 through 6. Heat 3. They're going to swim heat 2 at the end. All right, couple lanes open. Lane 1, lane 3 are open. All right, here's a little more text if this helps you at all. Just so the white text, you can see where the swimmers are relative to the pool. They are at the far end, 25 yards complete here. All right, again, this is heat 3 in the pool. I'll get you the names for heat 4 in a second. Now on the top right, those names in orange are the heat 4 swimmers. All right, swimmers will be at 50 yards complete. Again, 25-yard pool, down and back makes up 50, so they're at halfway. First to turn there in lane 2, Ridley. All right, this is our lead swimmer. That's lane 2. Lane 1 is empty. All right, next to turn up there is lane 4, Isabella, followed by 6, Eleanor, and then Emma in 5. So there are no touch pads at the right-hand side. So every split on the board will be a 50-yard split. So as we see Ridley here in 2, she comes under the flags into the red lane lines and into the wall. And as she touches the wall, again, that dashes represent the backup timer, but then eventually she did touch. So on that scoreboard, so leftmost column is lane, then it goes place. Then it's last name, comma, first initial, team, and then that blue or purple, depending on your screen, that is the split. That is basically how much time to do that second 50. And then the rightmost is the cumulative time for her 100. All right. So in this, I'm not going to say somebody won a heat, because ultimately that time that Ridley just swam could be the best time of everybody. So the scoring is within a given event, the low times, and I think they're doing low 16s, are then to get points. All right. So sometimes you'll watch, and again, it depends on the type of meet. Right. This meet is basically what's known as a timed final. So everybody had seed times, and then they were grouped based on those seed times, and then now they're swimming for their best times. So in a given heat, while somebody might be first or second to the wall, I'm not going to say they won. Basically, they were the low time in that heat. But we need to wait for all the results, and then ultimately we'll determine based on, there's a whole computer system. It's called Meet Manager. If you're interested, that's a great way to kind of volunteer and get exposure to the behind the scenes. But that'll basically take all the times. Hopefully nobody gets disqualified, but there is a risk that somebody does get disqualified, then their time is not eligible for the overall ranking. And then that'll take the fastest 16, and they're given points. And then throughout the day, the points will go to a team score, and then ultimately for each age group, and then boys and girls. So there'll be 6 awards for the high points for the 6-year-old boy and girl, 7-year-old boy and girl, and 8-year-old boy and girl. All right. All right. So now the swimmers are at that 75-yard mark. All right, coming into the wall. This is lane 4 of heat 4. That's Cameron. She's going to go low time. She goes about a 140. Cameron came in on a 152.2. That's a nice 12-second drop. Again, heat 2 was a malfunction with the timing system, so that did not swim. All right, this is heat 4. So next up will be heat 5, then 6, and then we'll rewind and go back and swim heat 2. All right, here we are. Here we go. This is heat 5. Nora, Tallulah, Isabel, Kaylee, Claire, and Arabella. And that's 1 through 6, closest to furthest. The ladies are in the pool. This is heat 5 of 6. Top right of your screen are the names for heat 6. That'll be the second to last, because then we're going to go back and swim heat 2. So all the swimmers prior to them swimming, kind of during their downtime, they're just above us in the gym. So you'll see them, they'll come in on that back right of this view, walk along that right wall, and then walk along the far wall. So that's where you see those benches over there with the different colored sheets on the wall. So they're lining up, and then they'll eventually make their way behind the bling blocks, behind the starting blocks, couple races before they race. Again, this is heat 5. Nora, Tallulah, Isabel, Kaylee, Claire, and Arabella. First to turn, then to be there in lane 2, Tallulah. This is lanes 2 and 3 coming to the wall, and then we'll go wide. We'll catch everybody else. Lane 3 with the big push there. That's Isabel. She goes 126.95, cumulative 43.01 on that second 50. Came in on a 130.88, so that's almost 4-second drop for Isabel. That was heat 5. Here we go with heat 6. Olivia, Emerson, Reagan, Ava, Tilly Adams. That's the one I highlighted earlier when we were looking at Meet Mobile. And Tashvi up in 6. Okay, after this, again, we're going to heat 2, which was that malfunction start. I'll get those names for you in a second. All right, top right are the names for heat 2 swimmers. Heat 6 in the pool. Again, this is the 6th fastest seed times coming in. That is lane 2, Emerson Koch. First to turn on a 33.28. Awesome front half. Okay, you can see the splits for the other swimmers there. Okay, ladies making their way back. So this is going to be 75 yards complete on this right-hand side for Emerson. Give a little ISO here. This is lane 2, Emerson. Awesome swim here. Emerson came in on a 124.09. She goes 112.20. Awesome. That's 11.8 drop. Awesome. All right, that was heat 6. Now we're going back to heat 2 again, as I mentioned. I think, yep, here we go. This is our heat 2 swimmers. So we have Reese, Maruna, Chloe, Evelina, Finley, and Layla. And again, so you see lane 2 going off the deck. That's fine. Lane 3, similar, not off the block, just going off the edge of the wall. And they're just clearing the swimmers from there. So what we're doing traditionally is what's known as an overhead or flyover start, where the swimmers would stay in the pool. Okay, the officials chose, since some of these swimmers are going off the wall, just to have clearance with the other swimmers, they chose to have them exit the pool. Again, this is our heat 2 swimmers. So in a few seconds on the top right, you're going to see boys and, oh my gosh, I'm confusing myself. We're going to see girls from event 3. Again, this is girls only session, so we're going to only have odd number events. So on the top right, those are the entries in heat 1 of event number 3, which is a 50-yard backstroke. So in the pool is our heat 2 swimmers. All right, keep an eye on lane 5. That is Finley, first to turn up there, followed by lane 1, then 6. Lane 1 is Reese. Lane 6 is Layla. All right, you see the coaches there. All right, now looks like 75 yards complete. Lane 5, first to turn, followed by 1. So Finley and then Reese. And then 6, Layla. All right. We have a couple finishers here. Lane 5, Finley's going to go low time here, 124.6. Finley came in with no seed time, so NT, no time. Yeah, so lane 2, while it shows finish there, still in the pool at the far end. We'll take a look in a second. So that's lane 3 finishing. This is lane 2 coming off the wall. So sometimes with the timing system, there's additional touches where it thinks the swimmer has, had more times at that than they actually have. So I think that's what's going on here with lane 2. So they'll take, while the swimmer's still coming in. So behind the blocks, you'll see the gentleman in the white shirt there behind 2. They have a stopwatch and a clipboard. So while the timing system is functioning still, you'll see a gentleman in a white shirt and a black shirt, both of them leaning over, looking down. So as soon as that swimmer touches the wall, they stop the stopwatch. And then this gentleman in the white shirt in his left hand, it looks like he has that Jeopardy plunger. He also pushes that, so the timing system gets what's known as a backup time at that time. So again, then you see the gentleman in the black shirt has the clipboard, which has swimmers' names that are coming up to swim, and then they also write down what's known as the hand time or manual time that they have on that stopwatch. This is event 3, heat 1 of 7, 50-yard backstroke. So down and back for the ladies. Names for heat 2, top right. In the pool, lane 1, Charlotte, 2, Karina, 3, Alexis, 4, Whitney, 5, Lily. That's closest to furthest. Lane 6 is empty in this race. Excuse me. All right, and then they come into the finish. Low times end up being lane 3. Alexis did not come in on a seed time, but that's an impressive 50-60. Nice way to get us started here with event 3. All right, again, heat 1 of 7. All right, so with the backstroke, can't do that overhead or flyover. They will clear the pool, so the software that calculates all this takes that into consideration. It adds a little extra time. So this whole session, I'll tell you in a second, I can go back and look, but it puts an estimated time. It estimated that this race would start at 11:17, which it is exactly 11:17. So we did start a few minutes early. If you are joining us, you can go back and rewind. This is event 3. We're only swimming odd numbers, so we started with event 1. We had 6 heats. Now we're on our second heat of event 3. Names for heat 3 are on the top right of your screen. Now, if you are on your phone or tablet, you can, if you are in the YouTube app, you can pinch to zoom. So if you want to get a kind of a larger view of a swimmer or the scoreboard, you can do that independently. Lane 1's going low here. That's Laurel. That's a great 45.89. Followed by lane 5. I didn't see. All right, nice swim there. I think that potentially came from, or a shout out to Tessa in 3. Came in 109, improving on that. Or I don't know, some of those touches didn't come clean, so we'll have to go to the manual time. Again, all the times will be updated in Meet Mobile. You do not need to subscribe to see those results. Summit is publishing those for free. All right, in the pool, here we have Emerson in 1, 2 is empty, 3, Raina, Abigail's in 4, Morgan in 5, and Lily in 6. All right. In the pool is heat 3, names for 4, top right. Into the wall, tight one here. That is lanes 3, 4, and 5. Look like 4 went low there. That's Abigail. Came in on a 103. Big improvement on that. Okay, that was 3. Here we go with 4. Here's our lane assignments. So again, with this type of meet where there's not a long pause in between, I don't have the opportunity to pan down and give you a kind of a zoom in on all the swimmers. I don't do any kind of replay. I think it takes away from any kind of viewing, so you can get ready for the next race. All right, in 4, Nora, Caitlin, Isabella. Lane 4 is empty. Excuse me. It's really cold down there. And then lane 5, Olivia, and then 6 is Emma. Again, this is 4 of 7. Names for 5, top right. All right, looks like lane 1, lane 6. Lane 1, 51.32 for Nora. That's a 9-second drop off a 1:00.45 seed. Nice job. One thing I didn't mention, so the software that does all that seeding I mentioned before, where it takes the 6 fastest and so on, it also then put, of the 6 swimmers, you can see here, the swimmers in lanes 3 and 4. So lane 3 ultimately, and then 4 is the lowest seed times, and then it fans out from that. So naturally what you would expect is middle of the pool, those swimmers have lower seed times. They would be finishing first. In that last case, lane 1 and 6 had higher seed times than the middle of the pool. So it's either them swimming a great race, or sometimes, the swimmers in the middle might be swimming a little slower. The other factor with that, the seed times they kind of have an expiration, right? They're expected to be from this past year, but sometimes swimmers don't swim all the different events. So the seed time could be really old, and you'll see a swimmer come out and drop 10, 20, 30 seconds, only because now that they're 8-year-old, that seed time might have been when they were 6 or 7. All right? So hopefully you're finding it educational. I do kind of over-explain things sometimes. But again, I'm expecting we have some new viewers out there, so hopefully it's lending value or lending a explanation to certain things that are going on. Looks like lane 5 here, Allie going low. Nice job, Allie. She goes sub 50. She came in, is that a 45, 47? Nice job. That's 9.5 second drop off her 55 seed. Good job. So then you got to, so you got to look at that 45, 47. Keep that in mind. We have 2 more heats. We have heat 6 and heat 7. So if you look at that 45 and then think about that where it's relative to the finishers in this, hopefully she's in the top 16 and then getting points for her. Yeah. This is heat 6 of 7. Brooklyn, Maya, Pippa, Layla, Reese, and Cameron. All right. This is 6 of 7. The names for 7 on the top right, and you can see some of those seed times, 43 and 44 for Ava and Josie in the middle of the pool in the next race. Again, I think our low time so far is that 45 from Allie in the last heat. All right, looks like lane 1 going low here on a 44.35. All right, so you can see that 45 from the previous heat was better than some of these times in this heat. So we've got to take a look. Well, look, keep an eye. Ali Kwan was that particular swimmer last time. We'll see. We'll go back and look later and see how she fared. That's really impressive. Maybe top 8. All right, unofficial. Everything I say is unofficial because I don't know if there's any DQs going on. So DQ is a disqualification. So if a swimmer does something improper, starts early, doesn't turn correctly. Certain strokes have regulations on how you turn, 2 hands and so on. I'm not privy to that information, so we got to wait till the final results come out. Here we are with heat 7. The names for heat 8, top right. But in the pool, lane 1, Amelia, 2, Emmy, 3, Ava, 4, Josie, 5, Nuala, 6, Evie. All right, so again, this kind of chevron shape or arrowhead, this is what you would expect. Middle of the pool, lower seed times, those swimmers would be potentially finishing first. That's lane 3 going low, 41.16 for Ava. Came in on a 43.19. That's 2+ seconds, 2:03 improvement. Nice job, Ava. I think Ava's going to take high points there. I think that's the best. And then, yeah, maybe that Allie, we got to look. Her 45 could be top 10. Nice job. All right, here we go. We're going to event 5, 25-yard breaststroke. So what you're going to see, folks, behind the blocks, those volunteers are going to have to go to the far end since it's a 25, one length. So we need those stopwatches and then the backup time going the other way. So while we have a moment, we will do this pan down. So this is lane 1. We should see Madeline behind the blocks, maybe white cap. There's Lucy bending over some. Oh, here we go. Here should be Madeline and Lucy getting ready. Then we have Karina, Tessa, Charlotte, and Ashani all the way up here.
Well, actually, let me take that anyway.
All right. So since the timers had the task of going to the far end, gives me a little extra time so I could do that. All right, Matt, I see your comment. Yes, way to go, Allie and Xiaoyin. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, this is event 5, heat 1 of 13. And again, we're doing, did I? Yep. All right, so the official is looking down the far end, making sure all the timing volunteers made their way down and made sure they're also in the correct lane. You can see them. You can see them down here. All right. Here we go. So 25, we're swimming left to right, one lane to the pool of this breaststroke. We are underway. Madeline, Lucy, Karina, Tessa, Charlotte, Ashani. Now you'll see them coming into view. That is lane 4. Tessa looks to go low time. You might hear music in the background, so that's known as a hot heat. So there will be a prize. Looks like Tessa will take that. I don't know what the prize is in the past. It's been little ducks, potentially t-shirts. All right, jump back to the start end. This is our heat 2 of 13 swimmers. Top right is heat 3 swimmers. Here we go with heat 2. Trira, Sophia, Millie, Madeline, Riley, and Maya. Oop. All right. No DQs here. They'll let the swimmers reset. We are underway here with heat 3, sorry. All right, 3 of 13 in the pool. Did I not? Why? Yeah, sorry, folks. I might not have updated those names correctly. That's why I paused there for a second. All right, I might have displayed the wrong names.
Yeah, 5-2
Is this 2? Oh, they went. All right, that was Heat 2. So, folks, yeah, I was right. All right. Is this Heat 3 coming up? This is 3? All right, here we go with Heat 3. Maybe yeah, the scoreboard jumped. All right, so we're back to Heat 3. That was Heat 2. Here we go with Heat 3 names. Lane 4 shows empty. No, why do we have somebody stepping up in 4? 4 is empty. Is that Everly? She's in the next heat. Yeah, it's Wells, Everly Wells. So unfortunately, yeah. So Heat 4 is empty. So I'll explain more in a second. So one of the consequences of a 25. All right, this is Heat 3. Lily, Allison, Kate, lane 4 empty, Zoe and Avery. So one of the consequences on a 25, those timers go down to the far end. They have sheets with all the names on them. So when they're not at the start end, you have that risk of a swimmer just saying, oh, I'm next. Since the lane was empty, she went up. And no fault to hers. It's just kind of one of those things. All right, this is Heat 3. In the pool, Lily, Allison, and Kate, 1, 2, 3. And then we have Zoe and Avery towards the top of your screen. Looks like lane 5, Zoe's going low. I guess lane 6 was empty there too. No Avery. All right. Here we go. We'll go back to the start with Heat 4. Maggie, JoJo, Claire, Everly, Rami, and Olivia. Heat 4 of 13. Maggie, JoJo, Claire, Everly, Rami, Olivia, 1 through 6. They are underway. Lane 5 going low. Rami came in 38. She goes 29.9. Nice swim. It's a high 8-second drop. And a little selly there. Nice job. I can't get there in time to capture that. All right, here we go with Heat 5. Avery, Whitney, Leah, Kiera, Alexis, Ariella. Names for 6, top right. If you are just joining us, glad you can join us. We are on event 5. We're only swimming the odd numbers. So this is our 3rd event of the morning. If you are joining us late, you can go back and rewind. Lane 3 having a great swim here. That's Leah. She goes 28 flat. Awesome. Came in 33.89. That's 5.89 drop. Huge. Great swim, Leah. We're going to go with heat 6 now, back to the start end. Akira, Ariel, Eleanor, Anvi, Lena, and Sadie. This is 6 in the water. Names for 7, top right. All the information is in Meet Mobile, so if you go to Meet Mobile, which is an app you could download, phone or tablet, there is no web or computer version of it. And search on Say Pentathlon. Make sure you're opening the 2026 version. We got the lane 4 to the wall first, 26.93 for Anvi. Came in 33.74. That's 6 3/4 second drop. Nice job. So if you then open up that meet and you go to events, you'll see that there's a girls and boys. We're in the girls session. And then you can then search based on swimmer, team, or just look at the events. Everything will be in there. You'll see it listed as heat sheets. So that's basically what and where swimmers are swimming. And then ultimately you'll see results. So that's when everything is official. Underway with 7. Krya, Quinn, Margaret, Kinsley, Emma, and June. I hear music, so somebody's getting a prize. Keep an eye on lane 1. Krya. Oh, lane 6 up there. June looks maybe too close to call here. Lane 5 out of a big second half. Tough one. Maybe lane 5 on the board. 28.55 for Emma. Dropping off a 32.2. Nice improvement. Again, got to keep in mind all these different times. They factor into the final 16 getting points. Back to the start end with our heat 8 swimmers. Vanya, Audrey, Ryan, Elisa, Lizzie, Brianna. Heat 8 of 13 in the pool. Keep an eye on lane 6, top of your screen. And lane 2, who's it gonna be? Looks like lane 2's going low time there, Audrey. 27.96, dropping over 2 seconds off a 30.31 seed. And then we'll jump back to the start. Heat 9, Claire, Prisha, Eladine, Maggie, Anna, and Evie. Top right names are updated for Heat 10. So 9's about to go. Names for 10, top right in that orange text. Again, hope you find that helpful. Kind of any baseball fans out there, that's your on-deck hitters. And again, if you're not following along in Meet Mobile, I put that up there so you can see who's coming up. Plus, also, if the swimmers were to watch this 6-8 months from now, then they would know their seed times coming in and then see the results. So. This is heat 9 underway. Lane 5 leading him into that finish down the far end. That's Anna. Nice job, Anna. 26:48, dropping almost 3 seconds off of 29:31. All right, back to the start for our Heat 10. Lena, Chloe, Luna, Evelina, Peyton, and Neela. And again, I apologize for any mispronunciations. The chat's open if anybody can help me on some of the ones I am mispronouncing. And again, I apologize. Cowan, I was saying Kiwan probably. Close one here in lanes 4 and 5. Lane 2 having a big push too. Where's low time going? On the board, lane 2, Chloe goes low, 26:44. Almost 2-second drop off a 28:33 seed. That was heat 10. I got a page down. Why is this? Here we go with heat 11. Why am I not doing something right? I don't have the names right. I apologize there. I don't know why my names didn't get updated. All right, names are updated top right. I don't know, it doesn't really help much, but we're going to do this real quick. We're going to do this, and then we're going to go here. Sorry about that. That is heat 11 finishing. Names for 12 are updated. According to the board, lane 4 goes low. McKinley, no. Yeah, it should be McKinley. 24:17, came in 26:93. All right, here we go. Heat 12. So in the pool, heat 12, Avisa, Ridley, Isabella, Nuala, Susie, and Camila. All right, a tight one across the board there. Nice swim, ladies. On the board, low time goes to lane 2, Ridley, 24:12. She came in 25:3. Nice drop. Final heat here. Mila, Josie, Eva, Amelia, Kaylee, and Finley. Why, folks? All right, we'll get those names refreshed. Now should be correct. This is our final heat, heat 13. Top right is heat 1 of 1 of the 100-yard butterfly. Shows one swimmer. So the officials will need to come back to the other end. Lane 3, Ava looks to go low, and she does. 21:86. Awesome swim. Dropping 3/4 of a second off of 22:4. So that's going to wrap it up. So you should see all the timers back there on the right-hand side of your screen making their way back. Well, we do have a few seconds here. We'll go here. Camera had a little color issue. This should be Reagan, single swimmer, swimming the 100-yard butterfly. All right, now you see all the volunteers behind the blocks. So this is going to be our event 7 100-yard butterfly. So 4 lanes of the pool. So other note there, you'll see this lane 2, the timer putting his clipboard over the starting block. So that's to indicate to the start official down on the bottom of your screen that that lane is empty. All right, we're underway. Single swimmer here. We'll give you a grandma cam. Call it grandma cam so you can see a face. Wish we could do this more often, but again, when you have 6 lanes, you don't get that opportunity. Again, Reagan swimming the 100 fly, 4 lengths of the pool. Halfway done. Nice front half, 39.12. Top right of your screen is first heat for event 9, 50 freestyle. Heat 1 of 14, those names. Final 25. Reagan didn't have a seed time coming in. Under the flags, into the finish. Going sub 130. Nice swim. All right, if somebody wants to look that up, I don't know where that fits for an 8-year-old 100 fly time, but very impressive. Again, if chat is open, if anybody comments, questions, if no one comments, questions, or anything you could help, I'm a big believer in the crowdsourcing. That's why I keep the chat open for multiple reasons. One is if I misspeak a name, please, as Matt helped me out, thank you. But also, the only way I get better is by taking input from the viewers. I'm a swim dad from many years ago, so I kind of try and build the broadcast around as if you were sitting in the stands. Thus, I keep the scoreboard on the whole time. I try and give you an idea who's coming up. Bottom right, I give you a menu of events. So again, screen might seem cluttered. I've heard that feedback. I kind of understand that, but I think it lends to the viewing audience. If you have aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa that's first time watching, hopefully it gives them good insight. In the pool, closest to us, Madeline. Then we have Florence, Shreya, Kate, Lucy, and Ashani. That is lane 3, first to the finish in this 50 free. Shreya did not have a seed time coming in. All right, I did not update names yet. Top right, you'll see the names now for heat 2. All right. Nice job, ladies. Here we go, heat 2. Sophia, Maruna, Lily, Cassidy, Ruby, Allison. It was very noisy, so I don't know if there was. Here we go. Heat 2 in the pool.
Time to reset that one.
Names for Heat 3 already updated top right. So if you're not familiar at the start, so the official has a microphone, you'll hear him say, take your mark. And then on that microphone, there's a button that he or she pushes. And then that's going to do two things. One, it's going to sound the horn or the bell, whatever you prefer. And it also lights the light. So if there are any hearing impaired swimmers, they have the visual indication. Now, when you watch different meets, you know, the fancy meets, I don't know if anybody was watching the Big 12s, but they actually have lights under each starting block. There's only one light. You'll see it on the bottom right of your screen just behind that scrolling text. Lane 5 going low. Didn't get a clean finish, but that time will count. Ignore those dashes. Lane 1, I don't know why we got the early touch. But I'm sorry. Now I just confused myself. What was it? Lane 5 went low? All right. That was Heat 2. I'm sorry. I was trying to do two things at the same time. Here we go with Heat 3. But talking about those lights, obviously light travels faster than sound. So the lights under the starting blocks, they'll say that lane 6 is a more fair. Also, some places you will see have speakers under each starting block. Right now, so you watch the bottom center at the start, you'll see that flash of the orange strobe. There you go. So again, for the older kids more so, I kind of keep that on screen. So if somebody was evaluating a response time, you could basically, with YouTube, you can go frame by frame. So if you pause it on a computer and then hit the period, it will actually advance frame by frame. So again, not something for the 6, 7, 8-year-olds, but a little older, you can use it for that and judge a reaction time. These starting blocks do not measure reaction time. If you do watch college or professional meets, they will put it on the screen. You'll see RT, and that is going to judge the reaction time from a start. Again, I might be over-explaining, and I apologize, but I try and educate as we go. So that's lane 2 with the low time there. That is June, came in 1:03.34. She just went 48. That's 15 seconds. Nice improvement, June. That was Heat 3. Here we go with Heat 4. Avery, Mira, Lily, Kiara, Elise, Ariel. Names for 5, top right. We have 14 total heats here. So we're just falling slightly behind schedule. The software estimated this would have started at 11:49. It is 11:54 real time. If you are kind of watching it in live, really you should only be about 20 seconds behind actual live. Hey, keep an eye, top of your screen, lane 6 looks to go low. Ariel came in 1:02.73, dropping a ton, 46.12. Awesome swim. That's like 16-second improvement. 16 and a half to be exact. 46.12 to off of 1:02.73. Nice job. Again, if I overlook other swimmers with significant drops, I apologize. There's a 4.5. Mira in the last one, 4.5-second improvement. Akira, Quinn, Avery, Zoe, Prisha, and Lily are your swimmers here for Heat 5. Names for 6, top right. right, ladies turning at the 25, making their way back. I don't want to distract anybody, but going on right now is also the New Jersey State, what's called the Meet of Champions. So last Wednesday, they had the team championships. Shout out to Haddonfield, Bridgewater, Raritan, and Chatham. All three public school groups was won by the same school. That's lane 5 coming into the wall. About a 48, didn't get a clean touch. That should be Prisha. Came in on a 56.74. Nice swim there. So on Wednesday, they had the team championships. This weekend is what's known as the Meet of Champions, or the individual all-star meet, if you would. So that is also being broadcast, not by me, unfortunately. They don't allow me as a little guy to do it. So that's being done on YouTube by a channel called Big State Sports. All right, let me finish my other thought. This meet was scheduled to finish at 1:37. So again, we're running a little bit behind, but should be completed by 2 p.m. It is 12 o'clock now, or 11:57. All right, so in the pool, heat 6. Lane 1 is empty. We have Millie, Lena, Lily, Everly, and Luna. Those are our swimmers 2 through 6. But if you want to run a second screen and check in there, I'll probably talk about it and then I'll look for results a little bit. But there are some talented New Jersey swimmers, and they'll be on showcase today. Not all swimmers will be there. 45.78 for Lily. 45, that's 5, 4, 8 plus second drop there for Lily out of Lakeland Hills. Serena Dickey's a name out of Lakeland Hills area that is at that meet, if anybody knows that name, older swimmers. Oh, shucks. Here I'm talking again. I got to get name 7. All right, here's our names for 7. Lane 1 is empty here. Names for heat 8, top right. But as I had daughters, I track more on the girls' side. There's a fabulous swimmer down there, Avery Devereaux from Haddonfield, who has been to Olympic trials. She's breaking records down there, so that's going to be something interesting. Tune in and see how she does on dropping time off her already established records. That is lane 4, first to turn, Morgan. Also, we have lane 2, Grace, 3, Nora, as I said, Morgan in 4. Lane 5, Alora, and lane 6, Viana. Morgan goes low. I didn't even see an estimated time. I don't know, it was 40-something. She came in 51.60, so there was a big drop there. But there's also boys championships going on down there at the same time. Again, YouTube, Big State Sports, 3 words. Here we go with Heat 8. JoJo, Lizzie, Camelia, Olivia, Audrey, and Mila. This is 8 of 14. Names for 9 are on the top right. Here we go. Lane 4, first to the wall here. 46.48 for Olivia. That's a 3 3/4 drop off of 50.13. Nice job, Olivia. Again, LHY Lakeland Hills YMCA. Here we go with 9. Names for 10, top right. Oop. Oop. Nines in the pool, names for 10, top right. 14 total heats. That's our lane 5. Pippa first to turn up there. Pippa's bringing it home. She came in 48.66. She goes 42.14. That's 6 plus. Nice job. 6.5, call it. Awesome swim. Here we go with heat 10. Taylor, Gia, Evie, Rihanna, Sadie, and Claire. Ten in the pool, names for 11, top right. Lane 6, first to turn at the far end, that's Claire. So something else you'll hear the term, or the slang, I should call it, outside smoke. So again, I mentioned that the software puts the faster swimmers towards the middle of the pool, and the reason being so they can look both ways, see where they are. This is a case of outside smoke. Nice swim, Claire. 40-ish, about, didn't get a clean touch, came in 47.10. But you'll see in the middle of the pool, they came in 45.46. So big drop there, Claire. Again, their time on the board is going to be better than that 45.63. Again, the touch pads, again, here's Mike over explaining. In the pool, there's what's known as touch pads. And think of it as just two pieces of metal mesh with an air space between it. And as the swimmers come in, they basically push on that, and in a sense, it creates a ground. And that's the signal sent back. It was very noisy at the start. It wasn't me just talking either. And that's what sends the signal back to the timing system that the swimmer has hit the wall, right? And it needs to be firm enough that, just water pressure doesn't make it register. So with the younger kids, if they're not coming in and putting enough pressure on it, that's when you'll see that you'll get dashes on the scoreboard. That's when the volunteer behind pushes the button. And then ultimately, if the swimmer does hit the pad with their knee or their foot, then you'll see the time, and that's what happened in that last one. All right. Kinsley, Emerson, Caitlin, Michaela, Arabelle, and McKinley. Lane 3 looks to go low. Caitlin, she came in 44.39. She goes 42.96. Nice job. All right, here we go. Heat 12 of 14. Emma, L'Oreal, Nuala, Gemma, Maggie, and Mia. Looks like lane 5's going low. That's Maggie. Oh, close one. Lane 3, lane. Do we have a tie? We do, folks. How about that? 40-54, Maggie and Nuala. Nice job. All right. So those times, again, keep an eye. That 40-54 could put them in the top 16. This is heat 13. So with the tie, if they were awarded points, you would add up the points for maybe 5th and 6th place and then split them. High school meets is similar. If there is a tie, they do then split the points. So you might, in a high school meet, if you ever see like 0.5, that would be a case of when there was a tie. All right, in the pool, I'm sorry, Emmy, Ava, Remy, Kaylee, Reese, and Abigail, low time. Well, I don't know where we are, lane 5. I don't know, we didn't get a clean touch on one. 37.81 was low on the board. I was not watching the pool. Here we go, final heat, heat 14. Shucks, I'm slow, folks. There's a lot of yelling. All right, this is final heat. We're going to have 15 heats of the next event, which is, I can't even find it, 25-yard back. So we'll have a short pause as the timers go to the other end. The names are updated top right, though, with those swimmers in that first heat. But here we are, final heat. Ladies are coming home here. Coming in, the low times are 38-12 for Josie. So Ali, Tallulah, Josie, Maya, Brooklyn, and Olivia. And Josie goes low, 37 and change, didn't get clean touch, dropping off a 38-12. So hopefully on those stopwatches, they get a clean, and those times need to, the two people behind the blocks, those times need to be within a certain amount to then be considered valid. So the software basically gets 4 times for each swimmer, each race. So the time when they touch the pad, the time when the button or the backup timer is pushed, and then the 2 stopwatches. All right, so when we have a second, we'll take a look down the blocks. So this is going to be event 11, heat 1 of 15. Should be Madeline, Florence, Lee, Leah, Maggie, and Sophia. Is Sophia up here in 5? Maybe. Yeah, Sophia WFY. Yep, there's Sophia. All right, so this is going to be heat 1 of 15 of the 25 backstroke. It's going to be, all right, so now you can see here, as the official, we'll give some, there's lane 2 acknowledging 3. That's that lane 6 making their way. All right, give a little airtime to the volunteers. That's what makes the meet work. Names for heat 2, top right. And again, this is heat 1 of 15. That is our lane 3 swimmer, Leah. Came in 35.96. We're dropping a ton. That's a 14-second improvement. Nice 21.76. And just for perspective, 21.76 would have put her in, geez, like heat 10 of 15, or wait, yeah, like within the last 3 or 4. All right, got to go back to the start end. This is going to be heat 2. These logos are just getting updated. Names for 3, top right. Again, lane 1 closest to us, lane 6 at the top. Some people have asked when and I've seen this done sometimes, where when I list things like on the top right, since lane 1 is at the bottom of my screen to do that, but I don't do that, and just to explain why is because the scoreboard displays lane 1 at the top, so I try and maintain that. And again, over time, if you are a new swim parent, you will become more accustomed to going from bottom to top, top to bottom. That was lane 2, first to finish. Averly came in on a 30.83. She just went 25.04. Nice 5-second improvement. All right, because you will see different pools that will have lane 1 at the top of the view. There's not a, as I understand, there's not a hard, fast rule. It's kind of depending on where the official is, the start official. If somebody knows different, please let us know. This is heat 3. Did I have those? I don't know. I hope I had those. I might not have had those names right, folks. Sorry. I did not. I had the names wrong. Sorry, folks. So in the pool is Millie, Neela, Luna, Cassidy, Shreya, and Elisa. Why? And that was heat 3. I apologize. Here we go. Back to the start for heat 4. Lane 1 empty. Then we have Tessa, Quinn, Emmy, Kate, Lily, Mira. This is heat 4. Names for 5, top right. Lane 2, Tessa goes low, 26.96, dropping almost 1.5 off a 28.39. This is heat 5. Again, folks, sorry. These should be correct now. Lane 5 empty. So 1 through 4, Whitney, Lily, Olivia, and Olivia. Penvigad and Waldron, and then Riley up in 6. Names for 6 updated, top right. 5's in the pool. Looks like lane 2, Lily's gonna go low time here. She came in 27.69. She goes 24.38. Nice 3+. Awesome. All right, real quick. Goggle delivery going on right here behind lane 4. That was heat 5. Here we go with 6. Anvi, Lucy, Emma, Sadie, Maggie, and JoJo. Names for 7, top right. Close one, 4 and 6 look to go low here in heat 6. 4 is Sadie, 6 JoJo. Looks like Sadie first to the wall, 23:09. Came in on a 27:15. That's 4 plus. Nice job. That was heat 6. Back to the start for 7. Priya, Zoe, June, Ariella, Ariel, and Claire. 7 of 15. Maybe lane 4, lane 3. I'm sorry, yeah, lane 3. Lane 3, June goes low. 24:21. That's over 2-second improvement for June. She came in 26:34. What's going? Oh, folks, I am having such trouble here. Here we go at heat 8. These names should be now correct. Eight's in the pool. Names for 9, top right. In the pool, Laura, Audrey, Brianna, Lily, Caitlin, and Madeline.
It's only for that amount of pressure.
On the board, Caitlin goes low, 23:38. Dropping almost 3 seconds. Came in 26:31. Here we go at 9. Lizzie, Kiara, Lily, Elode, Evie, and Eleanor. Nine in the pool. Names for 10 updated. Top right. Close one here. Lane 2, lane 6. On the board, it's lane 2, Kiera. Dropping over a second off a 25.5. This is heat 10. Camila in 2 looks to go low at a 21.88. Nice drop off a 25.10. Huge. Nice swim. Back for heat 11. Names for 12, top right. All right, back to the start end for our heat 12. Names for 13, top right. "12 of 15 in the pool. Names for 13, top right. That is our lane 4 swimmer looking to go low. That's Maggie. Close one, though, here. 1 through 4. Maggie does go low, 22.35. Came in 23.76. It's 1.5. All right, back to the start for our heat 13. Names for 14 are updated. All right, lane 1 empty here. So 2 is Finley. Then we have 3, Claire, Lena, Kinsley, and Margaret. I hear music. Somebody's getting a prize. Who's it going to be? 1, 2, 3. Lane 4, Lena looks to go low. She's going home with something. 21.12 for Lena. Came in 23 flat. Nice improvement. That was heat 13. We'll go back to the start for 14. Top right are names for 15, the final heat. And then we have 100 breaststroke. So this is event 11. Then we'll go to 13. All right, this is heat 14 of 15. So the names you see top right will be the final heat for this event. Close one up there, all across the board. Where we going? Lane 1 goes low. That is Matea. She goes 20.99, dropping off a 22.01. Nice job. All right, here we are, final heat. Final heat, heat 15. Couple girls right on the brink, 20 points, so like 20 seconds, 0.5, 0.6. See if we're breaking that magical 20-second barrier. Lane 6 and 5 going out fast. Susie and Isabella, 5 and 6. Where we going? Low time. Yes, I see a 19.7 on the board for Susie. Nice job. 19.74. She came in 20.89. Awesome job. We'll see if we can jump down there. I think that's Susie there. Nice job, ladies. All right, you see them either check in with coaches or head back upstairs. All right, WY again is Westfield YMCA, WFY, Wyckoff Family Y, just for clarity. All right, we're back here at the start end, going to event 13, heat 1 of 3, 100-yard breaststroke. See the names here for the swimmers. We can do a quick pan down. Should have Gia, Jocelyn, and Avisa. All right, again, the official calling out, making sure the timers got back, finding the right place. There's been cases when they kind of get a little distracted and go to the wrong lane, so it's always good. And again, on those clipboards behind the lane there, they do have the swimmers' names. So I mentioned that earlier. And if you ever are doing that activity of, a timer, don't say, are you Susie, Grace, Nora? It's better to say, what is your name? Because swimmers have the caps on and sometimes they mishear. So it's always recommended that you ask the swimmer their name. A lot of the swimmers do have names on the cap, those last names, but again, that's risky too with siblings or potentially wearing the wrong cap. So it's always good practice just as the swimmers are coming up. And it's good practice for me when we have small lanes or small heats that I try and get some faces on the camera. So this is 100. We'll be at 50 yards on this left-hand wall. They'll have 2 more lengths to go. This is heat 1 of 3. Names for heat 2, top right. All right, into the finish. Jocelyn goes low time there, 1:54. Nice job, sub 2. That's awesome. Did not come in on a seed time, so NT, no time. You can see that for Cameron in the next heat. Nice job, ladies. Across the board there. No, we just didn't get a clean finish there in lane 4. This is heat 2 of 3. Brooklyn, Maruna, Grace, Nora, and Cameron. All right, girls are in the pool. Top right are the names for the final heat, heat 3, which is up next. So we're back after lunch for the boys session. It'll be a separate live stream. This stream will be available to rewatch. YouTube does have the ability to create, if you would, highlight clips. Under your main window on a computer, you should see a little pair of scissors. If you're so inclined to kind of snip out a section and then share that. If you do have any issues with that or questions or comments, need a hand, you can reach us via email, commonguysportsnj@gmail.com. All one big word, commonguysportsnj@gmail.com. Or there's an about page here on YouTube where you can find our information. All right, lead swimmer's going left to right. Lane 2 is making her way. She's going right to left. She's on her second 25. All right, so it'll be a final 25 on this turn for the girls you see in frame here. They'll have 75 yards complete. I'm going to go to just a wide view here. This is the whole pool. So lane 2 will be turning at 50. Lane 1 will be finishing. That is Brooklyn. Did not have a seed time. Nice swim there. She goes about 149, 150. All right, you can see lane 4 coming in 153. That's Nora. Also sub 2. Nice job. And lane 5, Cameron is done too. Coming into the wall here is Grace in lane 3. Grace improving on her seed time also. Nice job. Nora, big drop. If that, I don't know, that 153, I don't know if that was clean or not. Nora came in on a 215 seed. Nice job. All right, we have swimmer in 2. She's turning final 25 here for Maruna. Nice job, Maruna, finishing up. She came in on a 403 seed. She's going sub 320. Nice job. All right, 321.22. Just didn't get a clean touch. Nice job. That was heat 2. Here we are with heat 3, final heat. Then we'll be moving on to the 50 butterfly. Event 15 will be next. Final heat, heat 3 of 3. Names you see top right are the first heat for that butterfly. Reagan, Ava, Emerson, Sophie, Claire, and Eva. Music's on. Somebody's getting a prize. All right, we got a shout out for Sophie a little earlier.
25, I guess I'll.
Here are the ladies at the halfway mark. They'll be turning 50 down, 50 to go. This will be 75 yards complete at this wall. That's Reagan in 1, followed by Emerson in 3. Both going sub 2. Nice job, ladies. Reagan in 1. Came in 202.63. She goes 140. That's 21 and change. Huge improvement. Nice job. Emerson in 3, second to the wall at a 141.73, dropping off a 147. Awesome swim. All right, 50 butterfly. Here we go. Heat 1 of 2. All right, nice job on the breaststroke there, ladies. The 100 breast, it's a tough one. 50 fly, down and back. Heat 1 of 2. Names for the second heat, updated top right of your screen. Brianna, Reese, Evelina, Zoe, Jocelyn, and Maggie. First to turn there is lane 2, Reese. All right, ladies into the wall. Reese going low time here. Did not have a seed time coming in, but a 41.91 is awesome. That is better than any of the seeds coming in on our second heat. Lane 6 up there, second to the wall. I don't know, around a 50 change something. Maggie, nice job. All right, unfortunately, see the official middle of the pool, hand in the air. So what's that's going to indicate, you'll see another official coming over. So a single official can't disqualify somebody. So you see the other official here coming, white shirt, walking in the middle of the pool. We'll consult with that official. They will discuss what they saw and then determine the level of the infraction. All right, here we go. Heat 2. They are underway. So now I'm going to go away from this, but those two officials will come together and discuss what's going on. Music's on. Somebody's getting a prize here. Final heat of this butterfly. Then we have 25 freestyle. So we'll have a short break as the officials or timers go to the far end. And just to differentiate, so the people doing the timing are just volunteers. You don't need any qualifications. You do get a little debrief beforehand. All right, lane 4. Yeah, why these? Lane 4. I don't know. She had the low time, 39:43 there for Emerson, dropping off a 42:59. I think some of the swimmers getting out from the previous race were very slow. And even though there's a lockout, if anybody's ever interested, we could spend a half hour just talking about the timing system. So the timing system, this is a 25. We got to move the timers. You got to move the timers. So the timers go on the far end. So let me just pan down. We'll see our swimmers. So on this first, we should have Madeline in 1, Allison in 2, Avery in 3, Sophia in 4. So the timing system, if you weren't familiar, so this black box, if you would, it's like 2 foot by 5 or 6 feet. That's connected via a cord into the timing system. So when the race starts, there's a lockout period because it expects people getting out of the pool. And those are normally set to about 15 seconds. So at the start, if the previous swimmer takes longer than 15 seconds, you'll get a touch on that. And I think that's what happened on the last one. We could probably go back and look. And that's why the scoreboard was showing some of those swimmers had finished. Yeah, I'm rewatching the previous race. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So lane 3 on the last race, the previous swimmer was very slow getting out, and therefore it registered a touch. Okay, this is heat 1 of 15, 25-yard freestyle, one length of the pool, left to right. Madeline, Allison, Avery, and Sophia, 1 through 4. All right, lane 3, Avery, no show or scratch. All right, names for the second heat, top right of your screen. And you'll see that we have 2 empty lanes in the next heat. Reason being, if we filled those, it would have pulled swimmers from this heat. And you don't want to have 1 or 2 swimmers in a given race. So that's why there was 4 and 4 versus having 6 and 2. All right, low time on that on the board was Madeline. Did not have a seed tie, but just went 30-12. Nice job. Let's go back to the start. This is our heat 2 of 15. All right, folks, don't worry. There's not a quiz at the end of the different things that I mention or talk about. I'm just trying to provide information to explain things. If any new families or new viewers. If you are a new viewer here on the channel, glad you can join us. This is Mike with Common Guy Sports. And I'll answer the one question. Everybody's like, where'd you come up with that Common Guy Sports name? There's a lot of different companies that do sports broadcasting, and they're all like big this, fancy that, D1 this. So I chose the other route. So I pick a very simple name and keep expectations low, and then always try and deliver better than expected. So that's where it comes from. It's not a sarcasm against any of the swimmers in the pool. Really, it's a privilege, a pleasure to bring you very talented kids. And, swimming, much like other sports, takes a lot of time and dedication. And shout out to all the parents, because it also takes time and dedication on, getting them to practice, getting them to meets. But I'm very happy, hopefully 1 week ago, everybody at this time, we're kind of still getting over that emotional high of the USA men's hockey team. Congrats to the women and men. I imagine everybody's well aware now. Both of them won the gold medal at the Olympics. So I am a big hockey fan and lacrosse fan, so I might tie some of that in at different points. All right, there's some sort of pause here for a second. They're asking the swimmers to step down, which is very awkward as a swimmer to kind of step off the block, especially for the younger kids. Okay, a couple of the coaches behind the blocks talking to swimmers. Might have been a little confusion in where they were. Oh, there's goggles on the bottom of the pool. That's what's going on. There you go. All right. So there's a little housekeeping going on right now. All right, here we go. This is our Heat 2 of Event 17. 25-yard freestyle, one length of the pool, left to right. Names for Heat 3 are already updated top right. In the pool, though, Florence, Lily, Maggie, and Ruby. Looks like lane 5, Ruby's going low time there, 26.70. Nice drop off at 35.2 seed time. Oh. All right. Here we go with Heat 3. Again, all the information where swimmers are swimming is available in Meet Mobile. So if you download that app to your phone or tablet for Android or iPhone, Apple products, and then search for Pentathlon 2026, you will find it. And you can then search based on swimmers' names or teams, see what event they're swimming, and then ultimately see their results. This is Heat 3. couple. Where were we? Empty in lane 1. Close one there, lanes 2 and 3. And I love it, the little kids. It's like touch the wall and hop out. It's like one continuous motion. 21:44 according to the board. Low time there for June. All right, back to the start for our Heat 4. Madeline, Riley, Tessa, Mira, Maggie, and Lisa. Girls are in the pool. Names for 5, top right. Keep an eye on lane 6 up there, Elisa. And lane 4 is Mira. Looks like Mira goes low, 23:32. Came in 26:51. That's 3 plus. Nice drop. Back to the start with our Heat 5. Again, 15 heats here. Fives in the pool, names for 6, top right. And if you're not from the area, we woke up to some snow flurries this morning. So winter's not up over yet. Lane 5 looks to go low. Eleanor came in 25:19. She goes 21:46. Almost 4. That's like 3 3/4. Nice improvement. Back to the start for Heat 6. Names for 7, top right. All right, if you're new to watching on YouTube, if you are on a phone or tablet, you can pinch in and zoom, pinch to zoom like you would on a picture, and you can rewind at any point. You could just double tap the left side of the screen, should rewind like 5 seconds if you want to rewatch something. Low time looks like lane 3, 22:77 for Whitney. Whitney came in on a 24:33, so that's about a second and a half. This is Heat 7. Names for 8, top right. All right, lane 2 looks to go low here. Maya, 21:89. That's over 2-second drop off of 23:92. 24:24. Here we go with Heat 8. All right, lane 3, or I think lane 3 and 5 are open here with this Heat 8. Lane 1 goes low, 20:58. Isabella, huge drop off at 23:12. All right, Isabella, I think we're breaking that 20 sometime soon. Oh, we got to put it on that camera. This is our Heat 9. All right, 9 in the pool, 10 names for 10 top right. Morgan in 3. We're breaking 20. Come on. Yes. Oh, just off. 20:29. Sorry, Morgan. I jinxed you. Morgan came in 21:59, dropping over a second. Again, the only thing where, Morgan, I'm with you. Maybe that person behind, those are manual times at that end. Not blaming that person behind, but I thought she was to the wall. I don't know. Somebody want to go back and watch that? I'm just a spectator cheering for the kids. I don't know. Morgan pulling for you, breaking 20. Everybody here is coming in on a 21. Maybe we see a sub 20 on this one. This is our Heat 10. Got to rely on the board. Got to rely on those timers. Just off 21:13 low time lane 21:01. Nice job, lane 1, Sophie. All right. Again, there's not touch pads at that end. They're just plungers or buttons. And I say it all the time. Everything in swimming has multiple names. So sometimes I might call it a button. Sometimes I might call it a plunger. Heat 11. All right. Couple 20 points in the middle of the pool. Lane 6, that's Claire. She came in 21:38. Lane 2, lane 1, where are we going? Anyone? Yes! 1946, lane 1, Ridley. Came in 21:36. Way to break that 20 barrier. Awesome. Again, those little kind of, I don't want to say soft because they're hard to do sometimes, but those little things are challenging for swimmers, and when you get through it, you should celebrate it. I remember my daughter broke 30 in a 50. She was like right at the edge for a while, and finally when she broke it, there's a lot of ice cream that night, so I'll warn you, parents. It's good and it's bad when they break these little things. So, all right. All right, a little. I think we're missing a swimmer. One of the officials went to the far end. Right. So this is going to be 12 of 15. We're underway. Yeah, so Ryan in 4, I think I remember her missing before, so. That's interesting. I don't know why the scoreboard jumped to a different event. It went to event 18. That's okay. We got a time there. We got an 18:36, lane 5. Nora, awesome. Dropping over 2 off a 20:41. Nora doesn't just go through the 20, she goes through the 19 also. I thought, yeah, there it is, 18:36 for Nora. Nice job. Back for Heat 13. All right, remember that 18:36. See where that stacks up. We only have a few more heats. Can she be in the top 16, bringing home some points? Again, there will be awards for each age, and then boys and girls for the high point individual. And then those points that each swimmer is accumulating goes to a team score. So this is Heat 13. Lane 2, lane 5. It looks like lane 5 gets it on the board, 18:47. Peyton dropping over a second off a 19:70. Also in the 18 club. Way to be, Peyton. We're going back for Heat 14 now. 14 of 15. Top right are the names for the final heat. All right, Maggie, Olivia, Maya, Kensley, and Taylor. Again, this is second to last heat. Lane 3, nice stroke. Olivia Adams going low time there, 17.5. Nice swim, Olivia. Came in 18.2. She goes 17.53. Nice job, 3/4 of a second. Awesome. I think that's our first 17. Couple seeds middle of the pool with 16s for Allie and Tilly. This is final heat. Then we have 100 back. First heat, you see the names top right. Final heat. It's going to be quick. Look at that. Close across the board. 2 through 5. Got to rely on the board. Do we have a 15, 16? 16.22 there for lane 3. Allie right on her seed. There we go. Didn't get good touches. 17.2 for Brooklyn. That's a half a second drop for Brooklyn. Susie, 16.9 on the board, came in on a 17.6. Nice job. All right, final heat there. You see the timers making their way back. We'll take a look behind the blocks. Swimmers getting ready here. For the 100-yard backstroke, we should have Jocelyn, Maruna, Evlina, and Ashani. All right, 100 back. It's going to be 4 lanes to the pool. Down, back, down, back. So Matt, you posted you love lacrosse too. So I am fortunate enough. I do some work with USA Lacrosse and been at a few USA Canada games and seen USA come out on top. I seen USA not come out on top. Fortunately, more times than not on top. So especially for the women's side, they definitely have a kind of an advantage there. The men, very similar to what you would think what hockey was, but always improving. So here we go, 100-yard backstroke. We have 2 heats here. I've also seen international games and very exciting. All right, 4 lengths of the pool. Jocelyn, Maruna, Evelina, and Ashani. Names for the second heat, top right. Again, we're moving along. So this was supposed to go off at 12:49. It is 1 o'clock real time. Again, you should only be, if you're watching it live, like you haven't paused or rewound, should only be very close behind, 20 seconds max. Fortunately, I'm on the Y provides me internet here, so the quality has been very strong. I show 0 drop frames, knock wood, because as soon as I say something positive, then it goes south. But first to turn here, lane 2, Jocelyn did not have a seed time coming in. She's turning at 51.91 at the halfway. All right, we'll go wide here. So lead swimmer, right side, lane 2. You see her coming off the wall. That's Jocelyn, followed by lane 4 of Lena. And again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing anything. All right, we'll go wide. So we have a finish here for lane 2, Jocelyn. Nice job. Goes 150. And then followed by 4 Evelina. Each did not have a seed time, but both went sub 2. That's awesome. All right, just wrapping up. So the schedule was the last race to be at 1:37. So we're probably looking at a 1:50 p.m. finish. I'm showing my age because when we started this, maybe every kid didn't have a cell phone. Well, again, the age group here, maybe not, but if there's not a parent here and you are on ride duty, we're probably finishing up at 1:50. And then we're back after a little break. We'll have the boys session in this afternoon. All right, that was heat 1 of 2 for the 100 back. Here we go, heat 2 of 2. Then we have 50 breast after this. Again, only odd number events because this is the girls' session. We'll have all even numbers during the boys. You can see on the bottom right the menu of events. In the pool, Nuala, Ava, Emerson, Reagan, and Pippa. Lane 6 is empty. So you'll see we have 23, the butterfly, then we have event 25, the 100 IM. 6 heats up next in that event 21. 50 breast. 15 heats in the 25 butterfly. And then 7 in the IM. All right, ladies halfway mark at that left-hand wall. It's Emerson in lane 3, bringing them home. Emerson came in on a 127.21. She goes 126.70. Dropping time. 5-second improvement there for Ava. 128, 1 second for Reagan. Big drop. Nuella in 1 came in on a 2:00. Maybe that was an assumed time, but she goes 138. Awesome. And Pippa dropping a couple seconds up there in lane 5. This is 50 breaststroke, heat 1 of 6. Our event 21. All right, in the pool, heat 1 of 6, 50 breaststroke, down and back for the ladies. Names for heat 2, top right. All right, nice finish there. Sub 1, nice job for Maya. That was heat 1. Here's our entries for heat 2. 2 of 6. Names for 3, top right. All right, I'm going to change it up a little. Love to get feedback. This is a different camera angle. This is from that far end. The intent here is to see some of the swimmers' faces coming at us. Just doesn't go really wide enough, but Santa brought me a remote control camera this year, so. All right, halfway mark at that 25 on the right wall, making their way home. All right, go a little wide just so you can see. Lane 3, lane 6. Looks like lane 6 will go up there. Catch this finish across the pool. That's Caitlin. Did not have a seed time coming in, but she goes 102. Nice job. 105 there in lane 1. Isabella dropping a bunch. Isabella came in on a 152 as a 7-year-old. Goes 105. Awesome job. All right. So the officials clearing the pool. That was 2. Here we go with 3. This is heat 3 of 6. Names for 4, top right. All right, we'll try this camera again. I don't know how it is. Where are they? There they come. Yeah. Not ideal, but the problem is we're kind of tight, so I need to use these fisheye, and sometimes they distort, and so we'll see. All right, this is heat 3. Amalia in lane 3 is going low here, 50.76. That's huge drop off a 110 seed time. It's almost 20 full seconds. Nice job. Keep an eye on lane 6 next to the wall. 101-ish for Emma, dropping off a 118. Nice job. Again, those dashes don't indicate disqualification or anything. That is just that the backup time or the button was pushed before the touch on the wall. So, again, with the younger kids not exerting a ton of force, the touch is not registered. And that's why those buttons or backup timer is there for that purpose. 4 in the pool, names for 5, top right. Nice job. Low time there in lane 2. Elliott came in on a 105, just went 53.37. That's huge. 11 and change. 11.99, I think, to be exact. Swam a 53.37, had a 105.36. Here we are with Heat 5. Fives in the pool, names for 6, top right. Again, if I overlook another significant drop like that, please post it in the chat. I'll try and keep an eye out. Looks like Allie first to turn at the 25, bringing the girls back. All right. Ali Chowan in 2, came in on a 57.26. Looks like we're dropping on that. Nice 56, maybe. Might be a little bit better than that 56.91, but just didn't get a clean touch coming in. Second to the wall, 57.17 for lane 4. Isabel right on her seed. This is final heat, heat 6. Ava in 3 with an awesome 48 seed. Final heat. I'll get the names updated in a second for the 25 butterfly, which will be next. Those are now updated for the heat 1 of that 25 butterfly. Claire in 2, Ava in 3, followed by Evie in 5. That's our running order. We have Arabella in 1, Tallulah in 4, and Layla in 6. Looks like Claire in 2 is first to the wall. She's improving, came in on a 50.26. She goes 46.8. Nice job. Ava right on her seed. Good swim. All right. Looks like the big point getter there is going to be Claire with her 46.84. Greater Somerset County YMCA. Again, I mentioned it earlier. Anna Mosch came out of Greater Somerset, swims at Virginia. It just can't say enough. She's breaking records, she's a great freestyler. I think she went to trials and she swam on the national team a little bit. But if you have a younger daughter, you have a young daughter swimmer and they need some people to look up to, or kind of get a feel of, where swimming can take you. A lot of swimmers coming out of New Jersey doing fabulous things, A lot of, years past, it was always kind of some of the guys, the Alexis that went to the Olympics, and, Jack's probably one of the fastest freestylers in the world. I think he's going to China to race, and I read somewhere it was like a $20,000 kind of appearance fee. So, yeah, I don't know, is there a career in swimming? Could be, but just to get to that level. But a lot of women swimmers coming out of the state of New Jersey going on to things, and it's pretty great, especially, Anna Mosch, who's at Virginia. And then I mentioned it earlier, today the Meet of Champions is going on. There's a swimmer, she's a junior in Haddonfield, Avery Devereaux. Take a look, folks. It's pretty impressive. Coming out of high school next year, she's projected to be #1 swimmer in the country. Not the state, the country. So it's pretty exciting stuff. And again, even locally, last year at a summit, Sydney Arcella swimming at Duke, doing some fabulous stuff. Jane Kavanaugh out of Westfield, talented swimmer. I'm drawing blanks on a few other names, but All right, here we go. This is 25-yard butterfly, heat 1 of 15. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, lane 6 is supposed to be empty, and they got our attention. I might have said Westfield. Jane swims for Fanwood Scotch Plains. But within New Jersey, she... For next year, she was ranked 6th. I mentioned Audrey Devereaux, Addie Gebhardt's from down south, Serena Dickey from Lakeland Hills, 5 for next year in the state of New Jersey. And coming out this year, there's a bunch of talent also. Who's Northern? Now, Josie Marino, people should know that name. And Hannah Wilson, I think, swims for Madison Y. And Madeline Crawford for any of the Chatham people. Very talented swimmer. She's swimming down there today. Distance swimmer, 200 and maybe the 100. I don't know if she's swimming the 500 today. All right, that was heat 1. Here we go with heat 2. As I recall that. All right, here we go with heat 2. All right, this is our heat 2, 2 of 15. Girls are in the pool. Olivia, Lena, Kate, and Karina. All right, first to the wall, looks like lane 2. That's Olivia. Did not come in on a seed time, but goes sub 30. Nice job, Olivia. Back to the start for our heat 3. Names for 4, top right. All right, heat 3's in the pool. Names for 4, top right. Here are the girls coming into the finish. Looks like lane 1's going to go low time here. That is June. 24.99, nice sub 25. All right, that was 3. Here's our swimmers for heat 4. All right, names updated for heat 5, top right. Okay, underway with heat 4. Names for 5, top right. Again, without the volunteers or the timers behind the blocks, sometimes when you have these open lanes. So just the background, the seating was done in advance such that the coaches could all communicate to the swimmers and, get the assistance of the parents of where and when swimmers were swimming. But we had some morning of scratches. That's why lane 5 here is empty. Typically, all right, low time here. Looks like 4 or 3. I don't know. Very close. 31:06, 31:02. Nice job for Ruby and Chloe. Normally, we would go through what's known as a reseed, such that you take out these little gaps. But the problem is then that shifts everybody else around and would lead to a lot more confusion. So that's why you just see empty lanes here and there. All right. That was heat 4. Here we are with heat 5. Underway with 5. Names for 6, top right. All right, keep an eye on lane 6, lane 1. This is truly outside smoke. When you get both of them, who's going to go low on the board? It looks lane 1, 25.65. Nice job. Mira came in 36.8. That's 11 plus. Great swim. Good job. That was heat 5. And then, I don't know, we didn't get a finish on lane 6. Alora there came in 37 flat. She was in that 25, 26 second range, though. Here we go with heat 6. Ladies are in the pool for heat 6. Names for 7 of 15, top right. Lena in 2, Lily in 3. Looks like lane 2, Lena 25.99. Nice job. Almost 6-second drop off for 31.9 seed. Same with Lily, came in 31.41. She goes 26.5. Nice. Good job, ladies. All right, lane 6, we're not getting the button push on the registering on the board, but they will have stopwatch times, and those will be utilized. Seven underway, names for 8, top right. Everybody in this seat, everybody's seed in here is just above 30. Might have some happy kids. We'll see. Lane 6, keep an eye all the way at the top of your screen. Anvi, definitely going sub 30, going sub 20. Yeah, unfortunately, she was 25 and change. I was going to say she was going sub 25. Got to take a look at that when we get an official time. Nice swim there. Good job, ladies. Now, did I get there in time? I don't know. No, I missed it. Lane 1 looked to be, this isn't right. Hold on. Here we go. We got to refresh those names. Here we are with, these are now correct. All right. All right, official asked them to step down. All right, here we go. This is Heat 8 in the pool. Names for 9 updated top right. Lane 6, lane 5, maybe lane 1. A lot more outside smoke going on. Lane 1, big second half push. She's going to go low. That's Sophie, 25.08. Nice job, Sophie, dropping off a 29.8 seed. Awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, lane 6, I think she got to the wall, just didn't get a register on the scoreboard. Not her fault. Something going on with that button. Here we go. Heat 9 of 15. Lane 1 empty. All right, the girls are underway with 9. That is Cameron in 2. Looks to go low time. She came in 29.01. We're dropping a bunch. 23.12. Nice drop, Cameron. All right, that was 9. All the ladies are done. We'll go with 10 here. All right, 10 is in the pool. Names for 11 already updated top right. More outside smoke. Looks like lane 1's going low here. Eleanor, she goes 23.7. Awesome. Almost 5 full seconds off a 28.5 seed. 27.7 for Kinsley. That's a drop in time there. And again, lane 6, I think Audrey was to the wall. We're not getting. Do they even know that they're. Yeah, I don't know if they're pushing the button. Here we go with Heat 11. Eleven's in the pool. Names for 12, top right. Unfortunately, I don't think the timers in 6 are even pushing the button, so I don't see it in either of their hands. I'm looking through a different camera. Here we go with 12. Well, that's even to say there is a button. Maybe there's not even a button there, so I'm not blaming the timers there. Maybe there's not 12 total buttons. Maybe there's only 11. All right, this is Heat 12 of 15 in the pool. Names for 13. updated. Looks like lane 2, Krya going low, 22.96. Nice swim, dropping off a 26.10. Ridley in 3, dropping time. She came in 25.88. She goes 23.49. That's 2.3-ish. This is heat 13. Thirteen of 15 in the pool. Low time there, lane 3, Olivia, came in 24.55. She drops 3 seconds, goes 21.27. Nice job. Have a day, Olivia. Earlier had a big drop too. Nice job. This is heat 14 of 15. Oh, I didn't give you logos. All right, 14 of 15, just wrapping up. We'll get you the names. Top right now are updated with 15. Oh, did that not work? I might not have given you the right names last time, folks. Walker, Walker, Walker. Oh, I did. All right. Hopefully these are now right. Lindquist in 6, Nora. Yep. All right, we're good here. Final heat. $100-yard IM, 7 heats next. Close one. Kaylee in 1, maybe. Nice swim. 17.76. Nice job, Kaylee. Came in 22.34. That's a huge drop. Nice swim. All right. Also, Susie came in 20.67, goes 19.2. Emmy came in 18, right on her seed. Nice job. I don't know. Nora, I missed her time. What'd she finish? Yeah, the fact that we're not. Oh, it's. All right, we got back to the start. 100 IM coming up. Nora might have been, I don't know, 21, 22, right on her seed. Got to go back and check that after. All right, we got event 25. Scoreboard's on event 24. They'll update that shortly. We'll see names. Here's the lane assignments for heat 1 of 7. All right, if anybody's jumping off because your swimmer of interest is wrapping up, glad you could join us today. This is Mike with Common Guy Sports. Kind of going to be wrapping up a lot of this season. I will be doing a few other meets. I'm doing the New Jersey Golds. Used to be known as the Junior Olympics. It's more for non-YMCA swimmers. I have a 10 and under, and then I have the big kids in a few months. So if you do subscribe, I appreciate it. I don't ask you to, but if you want to catch up other swim meets, feel free to subscribe. But I'm glad you could join us today, and always open for feedback, good or bad. If you care, on our About page is a link to the email, commonguysportsnj@gmail.com. or if you want to stay anonymous and provide anything to the coaches, it'll find its way to me. But that's how we get better here, by getting input. But glad you can join us today, and hopefully you saw swimmer of interest and we're cheering them on from home. All right, this is halfway through. We'll go back to breast, and then we'll have freestyle home. Anvi, Joycelyn, Finley, and Maggie are in the pool. Sorry, didn't call that out. This is heat 1 of 7. This is our last event. Names for heat 2, top right. But this stream will be available to rewatch later, tomorrow, next week, or maybe 15 years from now. You might want to sit down when the kids are turning 21, 22 and watch it as part of a, hey, remember when? Hopefully YouTube's around in 20 years. So. All right, low time's going to go to lane 4. I went to the next page already. That is Finley. Did not come in on a seed time, but swims a great 142.7. That would have put her in heat 6 of 7, so kind of in a top 15 based on the seed times. Nice way to start this off, Finley. Way to go low. Everybody there having great swims. That was heat 1. Here's our swimmers for heat 2. All right, they were just waiting for the scoreboard to reset. That's what was going on. So this is heat 2. Names for 3, top right. All right, if anybody's out there watching this and you're interested in the next session, I just got a notification. It's pushed back by 20 minutes. 2:20 warm-up, 2:55 start. All right, ladies halfway, 50 down, 50 to go. We got breaststroke and freestyle. So this is the IM individual medley. So it's total of 100 yards, 25 yards of each stroke. But the order is different than if it was the medley relay. So medley relay, you might see MR, which is when there's 4 teammates and each one swims a stroke. This is the IM individual medley. So in this case, the swimmer is responsible to swim every one. All right, lane 6 into the wall, 150.02 for Taylor. Did not have a seed time coming in, but that's an awesome time there, Taylor. I don't know why it cleared off. Yeah, she didn't get a, yeah. I think that's then it'd be an official time there. She wasn't getting her splits because they just saw and a couple of them, you see that they have that split very high. But all right, that was heat 2. Here we go with heat 3 as lane 5 finishes. Three in the pool, names for 4, top right. All right, again, if you are coming to the next session, it was pushed back 20 minutes. Or if you know people coming, if you could share that. 2:20 warm up, 2:55 start. All right, it is 1:43 now. This session took a little longer. We were supposed to be at 1:30 at this time, so we're about 15 minutes delayed with this. So need time to clear out the pool and then get everybody out from upstairs and then the new group coming in. So if there's any way you can communicate that to any of the teammates that are boys, that'd be great. All right, we're at the halfway, 50-yard, first to turn there in lane 5. Campbell. Pippa came in on a 2:10 seed, followed by lane 3, Claire. All right, lane 3 coming home here. That's Claire. Came in on a 2:04 seed time. We're dropping about 18 seconds on that. Nice job, Claire. Followed by lane 5. That's Pippa. Came in 2:10. She goes 1:51. That's 18-second improvement there. Nice job, ladies. That was our heat 3. Here's our heat 4 entries. Names for 5, top right. Hit the wrong button, sorry. All right, we have Allie, Anna, Avisa, Caitlin, Abigail, and Kraya. First to turn there is Allie Chowan in 1. Came in on a 2:00. Sometimes when you see those even times, maybe she's not swum this, and that's an assumed time, but she's out strong. All right, the ladies are at the halfway mark, 50 down, 50 to go. There'll be 25 to go for Allie. Lead them out here in lane 1 on this right-hand wall, freestyling at home. This is heat 4 of 7. The names you see top right are your heat 5 swimmers. All right, Allie bringing it home. Sub 150. Nice swim, 149.03. We'll see where that puts her. Keep in mind there, top 16 getting points. This is heat 4 of 7. 149.03. Make a mental note there. Nice swim, Allie. All right, here we go with heat 5. Oh, wait. What's going on? Mike. These names will get refreshed real quick. All right, 5's in the pool. Names for 6 of 7, top right. That is lanes 3 and 4. Tashvi and Tallulah 3 and 4 turning simultaneous. Both came in on a 149.29 seed. It's Tashvi in lane 3. She'll be first to turn with 25 to go. Freestyle left. This will be the finish, lane 3. Looks like Tashvi's going low. She is 147-ish and just didn't get a clean touch there. It was better than that 147.22 from Tallulah. Tallulah dropping time, though. Both of them dropping over 2 seconds off an already impressive 149.29 that they both came in with. Nice job. Again, that was 5. Here we go with heat 6 of 7. Second to last race. Then we got to say goodbye, folks. We'll get a short break. We'll be back with the boys if you want to join us. Always happy to have you. 6 of 7 in the pool. All right, that's halfway there. First to turn, lane 2, Emmy. We're going to jump back to this camera just to get a little different perspective, get a lot of the faces maybe. All right. 25 to go on the right-hand wall, freestyling at home. Again, top 16 times get points. And then the top overall point getter, each age group, 6, 7, and 8. One for the boys, one for the girls. All right, Emmy came in 146.81. She's dropping almost 10. About a 138 and change. I didn't get a clean touch. Nice job, though. Here we go, final race. We're in the pool here, final race. So Emmy went 142. We'll see where that stacks up. Emerson came in on a 127.8 seed. Nice. Reagan 128.7. Really impressive middle of the pool here, these two swimmers. I'm jumping all around with cameras, trying to give you a better view. Maybe a little confusing, that's why I don't go to that too often, but here's just the right-hand side. We got 25 to go. We'll see them coming at us here. Emerson and Reagan teammates at LHY, Lakeland, Hills, YMCA, bringing it home. Lane 3, Emerson's going low. She goes 126.33. Nice drop. Oh, second and a half off of 127.8. Awesome. Shout out Mountain Lakes High School. Made it to the state final. Unfortunately ran into Haddonfield, who has a couple really talented swimmers. I mentioned before, A.V. Devereaux and Leah. I'm drawing a blank on the last name, but a couple talented swimmers. And unfortunately, Mountain Lakes came out second. But a lot of the older kids do swim for LHY. So congrats to them. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up. This is Mike, Common Guy Sports. I appreciate you joining us today. I appreciate Summit Area Y bringing me in to do this. Full disclosure, they do compensate me for this. My kids had swum here many years ago. Youngest graduating college this year, so we'll see what the future brings. But if this is the last, glad you can make it. We'll see what the schedule is in the future. But hope you enjoyed it. We're signing off. Mike, Common Guy Sports. You can rewatch us at any point, and we'll see you soon.